Hi guys, welcome back to Sleeve Saturday. So 2 weeks ago I travelled to London to see my pals, the rock band 2 Weeks in Nashville, launched their brand new album Neon Pop. Last week I interviewed the lads to have a chat about the new record.
2 weeks in Nashville, welcome back to the programme. My pals I can call you at this point.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, man.
More than that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem, lads, no problem. Right, it's been a year. I think it's been about a year since you were last on, but man, what a year. Culminating in the release of your new album, Neon Pop, 2 weeks ago in Shoreditch in London, and I was there to see it. I met all your family and friends and stuff, just a great bunch of people. What a gig. Are you guys still buzzing from the night?
Still on a big come down. It was insane. Thank you for being there. Couldn't believe that you flew in for it.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for putting me on the guest list for it. Just swanned my way in, a couple of my pals in tow. It was great fun. You guys must have been just on a high coming off stage though.
Yeah.
No, lovely time.
It was an absolute buzz up there, like just the crowd, the energy. Unreal, unbelievable.
Right, so I have to ask about the album's title, Neon Pop. It's a great name, but what's the inspiration for that? Because it's not named after any title track on the album. It's just its own title, the album itself. What's the inspiration behind Neon Pop?
Yeah, I suppose different to the first record. Yeah, there's no track called Neon Pop, but it kind of, the vision came from Nashville, really, because on the main strip on Broadway, it's just neon lights. I feel like that's where the neon light came from. Every venue has a neon light outside at every bar, every club. And with the first record, it was all about going to Nashville and falling in love with the place and finding our feet. And then this one, I feel like it's, again, kind of paying respect to Nashville again with the title. But I think the neon thing came out when we were discussing like artworks ideas for the singles for the record. And Mark really wanted to incorporate the neon energy in the design, and had an idea of having like an icon for each artwork. But it was just like, I think it was just black and white.
Yeah.
And then Mark was like, no, let's incorporate the colors, like the purple and yellow, and let's make it neon to represent Nashville. So
I love that.
At that time, we had already, when we were working on the artwork, we already had quite a lot of songs written for the album, I think.
Yeah.
And the 80s pop sounds were something a bit coming back and forth. Yeah.
No, I love it. It's a great concept. The visual is being built into the name itself, to the title. That's really cool. I've been following you guys, as you said, for well over a year now, and I feel as a fan, I've been rewarded for that, because I kind of know a good few of these songs already, because you guys have been kind of cleverly releasing them. It's been a slow burn of some of the songs over the course of that time, but to hear them all now in kind of like an album form, I think brings it together as like a cohesive piece of art. The whole is better than the sum of the individual parts, if that makes sense. It's your creation. Are you feeling that way too?
Yeah, 100%. I think.
Yeah. For me, it's just like a real timestamp of like a moment in our lives, without sounding too cliche. But it was truly like, what is it, like 2 years ago we started recording these songs.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, it's just a glimpse into a window of like a set number of months for us, and that really, like, through the recording process, that for me is Neon Pop. Yeah,
it's the individual songs, but it's not like it's not a concept album at all. But it is, what you're effectively saying is, it's like a snapshot in time of your lives, or where you're at now, and you can listen to that almost as a as a full record.
Nice, thank you. I am pleased you touch on that. And it's funny, I think some of the tracks, the writing started a long time ago, but it really came together in 2020 when it was lockdown and we were stuck, just the three of us. And that's when the bulk of the writing really happened, and it was just this kind of a vision of just being able to get out again and explore the world. And I think from myself, I just visioned like driving through America, like Route 66, and I feel like that's where the songs kind of had the vision for the songs to go in that direction, almost like just like it's a road trip, a kind of getaway and break out from where we're living.
One of the songs is literally called Somewhere Else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it feels, and like Ian said, it feels great to kind of timestamp that period in our lives, and now we can move forward, and they're not ours anymore, they're everyone else's, and everyone's interpreting in their own ways, which is great.
I love that. Absolutely love that. You know, bands like the 1975 have had great success and have been unashamedly they call it themselves. Matty Healy calls it himself. It's pop rock. I don't think pop rock is a bad thing. Is this genre that you're doing pop rock, or what would you class it as?
I would say it's our take on pop rock. Probably it's at this period in time, it's probably the poppiest material we have. In terms of the melodies and the kind of sonics, and like Mark was saying about the 80s kind of touches, I feel like it's as close to pop as we've got so far in this journey.
Ooh, I don't wanna go around chasing shadows, driving myself crazy with my dreams.
But yes, I mean, we're a rock band. Like when we play live, and that's kind of the love of music for each of us, is really rock music. But with the sound that we've kind of come out with on this record, I guess we appreciate the pop side.
Dirty talk as we pull away, change lanes for the getaway. So much more that I wanna say.
We'd also come off the back with our first album. We recorded that in a super sort of like, it wasn't clean, and no, deliberately so, like it was very messy. We deliberately kept mistakes in and stuff, and like
The rough edges, everything in one take, and we live for it. But like attacking this, we just came from a different angle of like, see how clean we can get it, and obviously that the clean, polished sound makes it sound like a pop album. Which we were vibing and still vibe.
Yeah.
No, I get it. And my mate who I travel with a lot, who was at the gig, had been listening to you guys beforehand, and he likes a heavier sound. And you know, I love everything from the pop rock stuff up to AC/DC. You know, I really like the sound that you guys do. And when he saw you live, we were having breakfast the next morning. He goes, they were much harder in person, and like they're like just a loud band as well. You know, like, so it's almost deceiving when you're actually live that you are. It just brings it even more out of itself. And it was interesting hearing someone who came to a fresh saying that.
My head's in such a mess and it's freaking me out. I never saw it.
That's cool. I'm really pleased to hear that, and that's definitely what we want to do. Like, I much prefer seeing a act live where the songs sound slightly different to the record, and I feel like we try to really kind of capture that and just turn them into a bit more of a jam.
Some days I'm good with this, others I can't even tell where I'm going.
Mark, okay, we've spoken about the artwork. You know, each song as it was released has its own design. You can see it on Spotify. You can see it kind of like it's really well done, which is unique to the band. You know, it has its own. It all has the same aesthetic. You've talked about it, the neon side of things, and the album cover has followed the same theme. Now, bear with me here. The last song on the record is Hasta Luego, which I think is Spanish slang for goodbye. The album cover itself looks like kind of a Miami vibe going on, and 70% of the people in Miami speak Spanish. Is there a correlation there, or am I just making this shit up as I normally do?
That's cool. Oh my god.
There's definitely a correlation there. I thought from the beginning. We've been working for over 2 years on that concept. I think that, to be fair, that's coincidence.
Yeah, we're hearing that for the first time, like finding that out. It didn't even cross my mind that was. Yeah, of course.
I can't believe how clever Mark is, isn't it?
He's a genius.
He said it himself.
Just sweet.
It is a Miami theme though, the sleeve cover. It is that, is it, or is it?
It wasn't supposed to be, but I guess. I mean, I suppose when you think of Yeah, it is really. I don't even. Yeah, I guess it is Miami, but I wasn't thinking Miami.
It's not obviously Miami, but it's definitely the vibe. Yeah, Miami 80s.
Yeah.
With palm trees. So
Vice
yeah.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vice City had that kind of almost kind of vibe a little bit, which
Well,
fit.
Plays into the road trip kind of. vibe.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. No, I love it. Right, I'm putting two and two together there and getting 10, but you know. Duncan Brookfield. He's a great producer. The first interview I done with you guys, I talked about those delicate piano keys that he put at the end of Open Arms, and that's where it kind of clicked with me for the first time. On, but this guy's quite cool. You know, I love it. And he's on stage with you too. We talked about this the last time. Can we clear it up? Is Duncan a permanent member of this band now or not?
Well, we need to get him on here, and he can say it for himself. No, I think we've loved having him like part of the band. He's been a part of the journey since the start. He was there in Nashville playing keys. He's played keys on every record we've done, and now I suppose he's been promoted to bass.
Good looking lad though, isn't he? Good looking.
He is. He's a good looker. He fits in, but y'all are. You know, it fits in with the. He looked. Put it this way, he didn't look out of place on stage. You know the way sometimes you might see a session musician and they take the spotlight off them when they're put over there and they wouldn't fit the aesthetic of the band. I think putting him beside you guys, it looks neat. It looks, he fits in with the overall look, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He'll be buzzing with that.
Yeah, we'll let him know. Yeah.
Who did produce Neon Pop then? Was this a collective affair or was this Duncan? What was who's producing this record?
Oh, it's very much Duncan, very much Brookfield. His energy and mind behind it, and it was like the first body of work that we've recorded here at home as well. And he was with us every step of the way from the beginning. And we started recording in beginning of 2021. I think all the songs we'd finished recording that year, so it's taken a couple of years to actually get out. But it was a great process working with him. At the start, it was trying to get used to working in a completely different way and with a completely different producer and like Duncan's vision. But when we got to know it and we got into the flow of things, it was just so much fun. Like we just had a great time. So many laughs.
Yeah,
it was good.
And he's got solo stuff that is out. It's really good. But you can hear his influence, like the 80s sounds and the stuff that he's bringing to the table. Oh, it's big.
Yeah, and I guess like again, you saying the neon pop thing, and he really brought the pop side to our rock energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is there a point almost kind of like, you know, the way if a director has a movie, they got to hand it over to the editor and they go, okay, it's out of my hands a little bit now. Is there kind of a little bit of that where you guys are writing lyrics, you're playing music, and then you got to hand it over to him where you can add the bells and whistles sometimes? Is there a bit of kind of, oh shit, I'm handing over my baby here a bit?
A little bit, but I think trust the process, and we learned to really trust Duncan, and it was funny because at the very start we would rehearse the songs for like a good few weeks before going into the studio, and then we realized that was a bad idea the third time we came to record, because we'd been rehearsing the songs and got really comfortable with them in a live environment, playing them the way we had kind of intended them to be, and then Duncan would completely reshape them and would be trying all sorts of different kind of takes out. So we kind of gave up on the rehearsing before recording, and we just went straight into recording and kind of relearning the songs with him in the studio, which was fun. And we've really learned a lot in the process. It's been great.
We also learned there's a language as well. Obviously, like we've worked with producers before, but they'll just be like, "No, that's shit," to try something else. And it takes a couple of days with Duncan to realize when he's actually saying, yeah, I really like that idea. Maybe we could try. That's actually him saying that's a fucking shit idea.
It's cold.
Yeah. It's cold.
Yeah.
No, of course that doesn't sound good. Sit down.
I don't know why there's more.
You know the name of my channel, Sleep Saturday and all that. Is there a physical copy of this album?
Not at the moment. I wish. But I mean, with streaming, it doesn't seem necessary. I think if we do something, it will be vinyl, but we're not in that position right now. But I really hope so.
Vinyl's almost kind of a nice to have, not a must have.
Exactly. And I feel the same with a CD, to be honest now.
I'm going to bounce down through a couple of songs on the album here. The album opener, Just Another Day, has such a great summer vibe, and that guitar solo. Is that you, Mark, on that opening track, that guitar solo on that, or is that, I know Billy, you do a bit as well. Who's doing it? I loved it.
I don't think it's either of us.
It was great.
No, I think.
Thank you.
No, that's a friend of mine who I met at uni, and we do a lot of writing together.
Right.
And he's always been in the background and always tried to play a bit of guitar where he can on our stuff. And that was him. I let him do his thing on that.
I loved it. Sounded great. The bass line on Pipe Dreams. Pipe Dreams was kind of inspired by your life, Ian. The Halloween party, the girl, the blonde hair, the red dress, the regret of coming home and she's moved on. Am I wrong on that? But I think it was a story around. It was built around her.
Red dress, blonde hair, I see it at the right these days. Hit me like a hurricane.
You got spot on, but not just one night of Halloween.
Right.
Spot on.
Sex in the Car, told you about it before. When you guys played that live, I was loving it. I was waiting for that one because that's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorites from you guys. I've told you about that before. You know, that even that lyric, "Dirty talk as we pull away, change lanes for the getaway." I love all that. The backing vocals of Afterglow are really cool. I loved that.
Wow,
Cheers.
that's cool. Thank you. That's probably a collective of everyone in the room. We did a lot of gang vocals, and Duncan's got and Ian, to be fair, they've both got very good ears for harmonies and BVs. So that definitely that was on their side of the court.
Lifeline is about as smooth as it gets. That is just such a smooth track. I love that. This is probably one you'll tell me you wrote it in, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. But
Yeah,
such a
it was
smooth.
one of those.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Same chords all the way through.
Yeah.
It was super quick, loop to bass line, and it wrote itself really. Just
I
about
loved it.
falling in love.
Yeah, it's
As simple as it gets.
so good. You know me, I like to listen to your lyrics a lot. Like, I love the way you guys write. I've talked to you about this before, Billy, as well. Like, I always love your lyrics, and I like to pull them apart sometimes. But that particular track was I'm just listening to it. I'm not paying too much attention even to the lyrics on that one. I'm just kind of going. I'm sitting back up here. I've got that on in the man cave. You know, beer in hand.
Amazing.
It's one of them tunes. Overdose, Ian, loving the drumming on that. You're just anchoring the band. I love that. Like it was kind of like the little standout on Overdose for me. Are you high in the mix on that, or what's it? Just it kind of stood out to me. You're a bit on that.
Yeah, it was a good day for sure. Well, that's the Brookfield magic. I distinctly remember recording Overdose, and I had all these fun rhythm ideas, and he was like, "Yeah, that's really cool. I like your idea, but just play the most fucking basic thing you can."
Right.
And he did some "Running Up That Hill," that song. Those drums in one of the pre-choruses.
Some of the
and he was like,
toms.
that's all you need. That's all you need. Play safe.
Yeah, I think it was the only track to get a bit technical. We've got some like a Brocasti reverb here, and that was on the snare. So that was the only time we've used it, the first and last time. And not even last, but that's really made the drum sound, I think. And then like us four with Duncan, that's kind of only part of the team, because then all the tracks went to LA, and we were working with a guy called Kyle Mangles, who actually mixed the whole record.
Mangles mixed it. Yeah.
Mangles mixed it, and his producer tag, and that we gave to him. And he really put his sound on it as well. Put like the LA American spin on it, which was really nice to give it to some fresh ears. And he worked his magic.
I think sometimes even when we're just talking about that drum, and you were saying, Ian, you told me to just do the bass. Sometimes the genius is in the simplicity. You know, it's just nice and nice and steady. It's Killing Me probably has the most sing-along chorus on the record.
My head's in such a mess and it's freaking me out.
I was making dinner here tonight. I had it on the speaker downstairs, and I was just like, that chorus. I think it's the most sing-along chorus on the album. But I don't know what you guys think, but I really love the chorus of that.
Thank you very much.
Oh, cheers.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, happy with how that turned out. The song was that song was inspired by the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why. I don't know.
All right, okay. Was it?
Yeah, and it was after finishing that series, like the last kind of season within it. Clay, the lead character, just has a mental breakdown, and he's finally reaching out to help because he's realized he's suffering like everyone else is. And I really wanted to write a song that was from his perspective. And he's also in a band called Wallows, and so I was trying to channel some Wallows energy, some Wallows sonics into it as well.
I love this about you, Billy. I love the way you're able to just like watch something and take an inspiration from even just a random Netflix series and go, I'm going to build that into a song. So, but I think you're great at that. I love that. Now, lyrics. I could go on and on about every song, but Georgia Skies, I think your vocal here is kind of probably, it's one of the most heartfelt vocals on the album. I wrote it down here. I just want to call out a couple of lyrics if I can. You know what I do? Indulge me. Those lyrics. Now I'm sick of waking up lonely. Say you need space. Now it's only like you don't know me. This feels personal. The lyrics feel very personal. The vocal feels very personal. Who's the song about, or can you say?
Waking up lonely, say you need space. Now it's like you don't know me. How'd you fall out of love? How'd you let it go? Watch these Georgia skies setting on my own.
Yeah, I can. That one's a funny one because it is a very intimate, like personal song.
I can feel it.
And it's been interesting now that track's out there, how people have taken it in different ways. But the song itself I can't take all the credit. It was written with a friend of mine, Ash, who's the guy that plays guitar on Just Another Day. And it was a golden hour kind of day. And the song just, again, came out fairly quickly. But he had just, my friend Ash had just been through a breakup with his partner. And so we were writing about that. And I knew her quite well as well. So I could understand. I'd been through a similar thing a few years before, so we were really channeling that. And yeah, again, it was very quick, the writing process. And to be honest, at the core, I think it's a country song. We were really listening to a lot of country in 2020, and that was influenced by the kind of country scene. But,
yeah, it's interesting because like we had the album on in the car in the last week or so, and like even my wife said to me, she goes, as we were listening through, she goes, that song. I was thinking it as well, and she goes, that song. Ask him who's that about. Because we were both vibing, and I love it.
But like where I've been loving people taking it in their own way, it was like the most surreal moment. Last summer, I was at my cousin's wedding, and I had no idea. Like there was all talk about what the first dance song was going to be throughout the day, and then like they made sure that I was there. Like my auntie was running around trying to find me to make sure I was there.
I saw this.
Did you? There's a video of it on TikTok and things.
Yeah.
And so I managed to get everyone there, and completely oblivious, had no idea this was going to happen. And the first dance was Georgia Skies, and it wasn't until like the second line it clicked, and I realized, which was crazy, but also crazy that it's a breakup sad song, and they're completely taken it the other way. And it was their song of falling in love and being together and getting married. It's just like, that's so crazy and so cool that people have their own interpretations and their own favorite. It's so
and it's special to them for that. So what kind of like started out as kind of a heartbreak song for somebody else is almost kind of a song that like a couple will never forget because it's their wedding song. You know, there's a beautiful symmetry in that, isn't there?
It's just so strange, but yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I want to just expand a little bit more on the lyrics on in general, if I can. I'm kind of throwing this out to all of you. You know, the melding, it's in your music, the melding of your life experiences, past and present, you know, current lovers, ex-lovers, life in general, personal experience. Is it tricky pouring personal stuff like that into an album when you know your friends and family are going to hear it? Or is it so cryptic that it doesn't really matter?
You got to leave it vague enough for some plausible deniability, I think.
I love that.
I'm not saying
That's a great answer.
I know the bodies are buried.
I think the only one I was concerned about was Sex in the Car, because me and my dad share the same car. So I think
Yeah.
Problem as no one in my family is speaking English, so
Yeah, you could sing anything, it doesn't matter.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, I think on the whole, no, it's just an outlet for our emotions and feelings, and they're quite metaphoric, so as well as people take it different ways, and some will never know.
Yeah, no, because there is, we won't get too deep into this, but you know, I was kind of when there's mentions of kind of drugs and stuff in your songs, and I was, as you were singing, I was kind of looking around at your friends, at your family, going, shit, you know. But you guys have crafted such a great album here. I want the world to hear it. You know, I just want everyone to hear it. Soundtrack to the summer for sure. Speaking of that, festivals, summer gigs I can come over and bring a bunch of my friends to. What are we doing? What's the crack for the summer here?
Yeah, it's looking good. I think we've got at least one or two, 3 shows a week over the summer, festival wise, and some really nice ones. Like we're playing Pub in the Park again. We're doing Brighton and Bath, so it's amazing to be back there, supporting some really cool people, and then playing Carfest, which is the Chris Evans Festival, and Big Festival as well, which is going to be really nice.
Big Wayfest.
Wayfest is coming up. Yeah, so
that's a really good one, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and we can definitely, if you're keen, if there's something on the list that you like the look of, we've got
absolutely.
Some for you, mate.
No, absolutely. I'll be over again. My friends who live in England, and they'll come up, and people who want to come off from here as well. We'll make a bit of a trip away to the UK for a weekend or whatever, you know. So absolutely, 100% I'll be there.
Unreal.
Not everyone has the exclusive access like me. Where can people see your lineup, your gigs?
The best place is probably our website, 2weeksinnashville.com/live, and there'll be all of our dates there. They're on our Spotify as well.
Cool.
On our Songkick account. So
love that, and I love you guys. You know that. I love you guys.
Thank you very, very much.
2 Weeks in Nashville. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Big love.
Cheers. Big love.